The funny thing about life is, everything can feel completely normal, right until the moment your world shifts on its axis. Mine changed on a Sunday. Soap suds, summer breeze, and her. Hey, I'm Jake Morgan. I'm 33, live just outside of Portland, Oregon. Drive a beat-up Dodge Charger. Work as an executive project manager for a high-end architecture firm. And I'm engaged. At least I was. This is the story I've never told anyone. I call it, I was washing my car when she walked over in a robe and said, "Need a hand?" It was one of those bright, peaceful mornings where everything feels like it's finally slowing down. You know the kind, birds chirping, sun warming your back, no deadlines, no conference calls. I had some old rock playing in the background, sleeves rolled up, and a bucket of suds beside me. It was therapy, pure, simple, mind-clearing therapy. And that's when it happened. I was bent over, scrubbing the driver's side mirror, when a soft voice floated over my shoulder. "Need a hand?" I turned and nearly dropped the sponge. She was standing there barefoot in a white hotel-style robe that just brushed her knees. Messy bun, sleepy eyes, a coffee mug in one hand. She looked like someone straight out of a dream or a French film. I'd seen her move in across the street about a month ago, always at odd hours. Groceries delivered, no visible job, expensive car, a deep green Tesla with matte black rims. But we'd never spoken, not even once. Cleared my throat. No, I think I've got it, I said, trying not to let my eyes drift down. But, thanks. She smiled, this slow, amused curve of the lips. I meant metaphorically. You look like a man carrying something heavier than water and soap. Her voice? It wasn't flirty. It was knowing, like she could see through me. Her name was Eva LeClaire, 31, British, writer, or so she claimed. And for some reason that Sunday, she sat on the curb and sipped coffee while I finished cleaning the car, talking like we were old friends. Like I wasn't someone engaged to a woman named Hannah, who was currently visiting her sick father in New York. I should have walked away right then. I knew better. But here's the twist. It wasn't attraction, not at first. It was something stranger, something deeper. Like she'd already been written into my story and I was just catching up to the script. 3 days later, Eva dropped by my office. No appointment, no reason. Just walked in, heels clicking on the hardwood, wearing this navy blue blazer like it was armor. "I was downtown," she said, leaning on my desk. "Thought I'd see where the magic happens." I told myself to stay distant, professional, but she didn't care about boundaries. She had this way of asking questions that cracked me open without even trying. "Do you like what you do?" "I guess," I muttered. "It pays the bills." "That's not an answer." "Well, what about you?" I countered. "You're a writer. What do you write?" "People," she said coolly. "I write people." 2 weeks passed, then 3, and then one night, I got home late from the office. Eva was sitting on my porch, just sitting there, like she belonged. "Bad day?" she asked softly. I didn't answer, just sat beside her, feeling more seen than I had in years. She didn't speak again until the wind picked up. "You ever feel like you're living someone else's life, Jake? Like you made all the right choices, but ended up in the wrong story?" I looked at her, and for the first time I said it out loud. Yes. The next day, Hannah came home early from New York. She hugged me, kissed me, told me she missed me, but everything felt hollow. I told myself it was guilt, passing fog. I hadn't cheated. I hadn't crossed any lines. But I was lying to her and to myself. And then came the meeting. My firm had landed a massive renovation contract. Old coastal property, being turned into a luxury retreat. Guess who the client was? Eva LeClaire. Apparently, she wasn't just a writer. She was a silent partner in the firm funding the entire deal. My boss was thrilled. "Jake," he said, "she specifically asked for you to lead the project." That night, I couldn't sleep. I sat on my balcony, drinking whiskey, thinking about Eva's eyes, the way she always seemed 5 steps ahead, like she knew what was happening to me before I did. And that's when the real unraveling began. The next morning, I found an envelope taped to my door. No name, just one line inside. Some truths destroy, others set you free. Decide which one this is. And beneath it, a photo, a grainy surveillance shot of me and Eva. From the night she sat on my porch. We weren't touching, but the closeness was enough. I looked around wildly, heart pounding. Who sent it? Why? And more importantly, what did they want? That was the first moment I realized this wasn't just about love or guilt. Something else was unfolding, something deeper, and it was only just beginning. You ever stand at the edge of something, knowing once you step forward, nothing will ever be the same again? That's where I was, holding a photo that could shatter everything I built. I sat on my couch for hours, that photo gripped in my hand, the words playing in my head on repeat. Some truths destroy, others set you free. Decide which one this is. Whoever sent it wasn't guessing, they knew. Someone had eyes on me, on us. I thought about Hannah, how I'd barely looked her in the eye since she got back. I thought about Eva, and the way she kept showing up in my life like fate or a carefully written script. I couldn't tell if I was being played or pulled towards something I secretly wanted. The line between coincidence and conspiracy was getting thinner by the day. The next morning, I went into the office early. Eva was already there, sitting in the conference room, alone, staring out the window like she was expecting me. I didn't say a word, just walked in, dropped the envelope on the table. Her eyes flicked down. She didn't flinch. "You're not surprised?" I asked. She looked up at me, calm, controlled. "No, but I am disappointed." I blinked. "Disappointed in what, exactly?" "In you," she said. "I thought you were stronger than fear." That was the moment I snapped. "You don't know anything about me." She stood, walked slowly toward me, voice barely above a whisper. "I know you haven't smiled around Hannah in months. I know you flinch every time someone mentions your father. I know you hide behind a job you hate because it's easier than facing who you are when you're alone." And then she touched my chest, right over my heart. "And I know this right here, hasn't felt alive in years." I left the room, didn't speak to her again that day. But that night, as I drove home, headlights trailing like ghosts, something inside me cracked. I turned a corner and saw her car, Eva's Tesla, parked outside my house. Heart in my throat, I pulled into the driveway, half angry, half terrified. She wasn't on the porch. She was in the kitchen, with Hannah. I slammed the door open. "What the hell is going on?" They both looked at me, calm, like they knew I'd explode. Hannah spoke first. She said she wanted to talk, said she knew you. I figured I'd let her explain why she's been circling my fiancé. My stomach dropped. Eva turned to Hannah and said, "I'm sorry. I didn't come here to destroy your life." Then she looked at me. "But someone else is trying to." Turns out Eva wasn't just a writer or a client. She was a whistleblower. The coastal renovation deal, the one I was assigned to, it was a cover for illegal zoning, backdoor financials, and a laundering scheme involving my firm's founder. She'd gone undercover, investigating the entire operation. And me? I'd been chosen because I had access. "I never meant to hurt you, Jake," she said, "but I had to get close to someone inside. And then I got too close. My mouth went dry. Everything inside me was screaming. You used me." She stepped forward. "I did, first. But then I saw who you really were." She turned to Hannah. "And I'm sorry. I truly am." Then she reached into her coat and placed a flash drive on the kitchen counter. "This has everything. Emails, documents, photos. If something happens to me, give it to the press." And just like that, she walked out. Hannah didn't say a word for the next 3 hours. She packed a bag, silent, cold. Then finally, at the door, she turned to me. "I always wondered what it would take for you to feel alive again. I guess I got my answer." She left, and I was alone. The next day, my office was raided. Feds, investigators, news vans parked outside. Everything blew wide open. My boss? Arrested. Eva vanished. I gave the flash drive to a reporter, and then I quit. Weeks passed. No sign of her, not even a whisper, until one rainy morning, I walked outside and saw it. A single envelope. No return address. No name. Inside one photo. Me washing my car, and her sitting on the curb smiling. On the back, one line in her handwriting. Some stories are written in ink. Ours was written in lightning. Sometimes love doesn't come to stay. Sometimes it comes to wake you up. To tear down the walls you didn't know you built. To shake the foundation of a life you thought was safe. But not true. Eva wasn't my future. She was the spark that burned down the lie I called home. And in that fire, I found myself.